What's going on, ladies and gents? In this video, I'm going to be going over how I spent, currently 18 years old, $98,541 on learning how to get rich, so you don't have to. And I'm ultimately going to give you everything that I've been taught, the bullshit, the non things that you need to know to grow your business. And not only that, but just become a person that you want to become, okay? I'd like to say, at the stage in life I'm at now, by any means or any way, shape or form, I'm a fraction of the way to where I want to get to. However, one thing I do have is inner peace and confidence in myself that whatever I can see here, I will achieve 100%. Almost like I know that tomorrow I'm going to grow older. It is a fact, it is a definite thing, and it is an expectation or a standard. Same applies with everything that I see in my mind. I know I will achieve every single goal that my mind can comprehend, okay? Now, just a quick side note, the $41 was clickbait. You have just been clickbaited, motherfucker. It's a proven study that if you add an odd number, it sounds like I put more thought into the video. So I thought, you know what? I'm a G, I don't care. Maybe somebody calls me out that I've spent $41 less than what I put on the video, you'll be fine, okay? Now I've listed it out from what I remember is the masterminds that I've actually spent money on, okay? So Easy Grow, Agency Lab, SCA, Sales Team Accelerator, Cole Gordon, Agency Founders, Eddie Malouf, Steal My Agency, Call Center Mastery. I spent like easily 15K on one-to-ones, but I couldn't be asked to name everybody because the list is very, very long. Performance and health coaching, so like nutrition, fitness, all these funny supplements that I kind of think of ES, like 9K. And then I've also spent at least 20K on traveling, dinners with high-level entrepreneurs over the course of the last 2 years alone. Keep in mind, that 20K, everything here is USD. Make it very, very clear that the flights from the UK, outside of UK to like South America, I'm in Colombia right now, and America, they're like 2K each, so that shit adds up, right? So let's dive in. Now, I've got one main lesson that I've actually put on here, which is probably the biggest takeaway that I want to give you if you've never invested in a mastermind before, because chances are you probably haven't, because you probably have a limiting belief, or the way that you see masterminds and programs is probably flawed, okay? Going back to a previous video that I made on whatever your subconscious mind accepts to be true, so it will be, okay? So if you believe everybody that makes a course and a program is a scammer and they only make money from their course, your mind will act as a screening system to filter everything out that doesn't validate your belief and highlight, almost as if it was getting a big highlight pen and highlighting it to your eyeballs, to your mind, to validate your belief as truth, okay? Now, a couple of things that I want to note down before we kind of just go off the rip and I run through the biggest lessons that I've learned is it's important to note that with this, I did not need to spend this amount of money on masterminds, okay? But I know one thing, when people pay, they pay attention. And I know this to be true because I've been given logins to programs that are worth 10, 20, 30, 40K, and I haven't capitalized on it. Why is that? Because when people pay, they pay attention. And something magical happens when you put your own money on the line, because not only do you invest yourself, you can actually fully commit, you give yourself external accountability for the people that you pay, and you've got on the line. You've got something to lose, right? So you're going to squeeze the juice out of every single dollar you spend. But it needs to be an amount that scares you, okay? And even though each and every program serves some sort of purpose, obviously there's going to be some that are better than others, right? I've invested in programs where I was like, this was shit, this was a total waste of money. However, even the ones that I didn't feel I derived any value from gave me incredible connections and held me accountable, okay? So it's very important to keep in mind that probably the biggest takeaway that I got from all of the masterminds that I invested in was whatever you believe to be true about spending money on masterminds and programs is probably bullshit, okay? If it wasn't for a close friend of mine, as I mentioned, who I met through this YouTube channel, funnily enough, he actually DM'd me on Discord around a year and a half ago, giving me a login to a program for free, not going to name the program, I probably would have never actually invested and jumped the gun, okay? So the reason I say this is because I want you to take it from me and learn this lesson. The single best thing that you can do is put a sum of money on the line that fucking scares you. Because when people pay, they pay attention and you will grow. Because a very magical thing happens when you see a price tag that scares the shit out of you. It doesn't matter. Maybe something that scares you is $500. Maybe something that scares you is 50K. I know for me right now, investing 30, 40, 50K into a mastermind is pretty damn scary. I've gone back and forth. I invested in the biggest mastermind I've ever invested in was 25K, okay? The next one I'm going to be invested in is 68K a year. My goal is to invest in that within the next 3 months, and I'm very, very excited to go into it, knowing full well that it is something that I've been avoiding, I've been putting off. It's scary as hell, but it's going to allow me to level up, and I'll explain why, okay? Because you want to see the price tag, not something like, oh, this guy's a scammer, this guy is making me pay a ridiculous amount of money because this is the only way he makes money. But no, you want to see this through a barrier to entry. there's something very, very magical about a very high price tag because it only attracts a higher caliber of individual. If you go to a mastermind that's $500, you should expect people that can afford $500 to go to the mastermind. If you go to a mastermind and you pay $68K a year, you expect a very, very high caliber of individual. And remember, you're only one person, one conversation away from 10x in your business, or one conversation away from completely pivoting and deciding to go in a different direction, which ultimately might dictate an entire different trajectory in your life, okay? So the more you spend, the better people you get access to are. And the biggest thing that you will get from masterminds when you invest in them is not the practical shit. The practical shit is cool, but the practical shit changes. A lot of the time it's not evergreen, right? The way that Facebook ads, for example, say you invest in a Facebook ads course, the way an SMMA or a Facebook ads agency runs now, not going to be the same in 5 years' time whatsoever. It's the frameworks, it's the principles, and it's the people you meet that are the biggest things that you will take away from any master, okay? And the cool thing is here, the smaller the circle, the better. What I mean by that is, you could go into a program that's like, say it's like 1K flat and you get lifetime access. I'm telling you, it is going to be flooded with low caliber individuals, okay? Now, that might be a starting price for you, and that's totally fine. But you've got to understand that the more you pay, the more attention you're going to pay, the better connections you're going to get, the better information you're going to get, because think about it, the people that make an abundance of money, millions of dollars every single month, do you think they're going into a program with 500 people on a Zoom call and giving away everything about their business? Probably not, right? They're doing that in a very small network of individuals with people that pay a large sum of money to get access to that information. And you don't want to see it, oh, this is costing me 60K, this is costing me 20K if you're investing in a mastermind, but more so, I'm investing 20K, but as a byproduct of that, I'm going to invest in the one thing that I will always have. Money comes and goes. You can make more money. You're going to spend money, you're going to lose money. One thing that you should never do is be scarce with the amount of money that you spend on yourself, because the biggest and highest ROI investment, yes, it's going to be things like paid ads that are going to 10x the business if you fully understand how to leverage paid ads. But above that and above all else is going to be investing in your skill set, because no matter what happens, you have a wife that fucks you over, you get robbed, you get kidnapped, I don't care what happens. At the end of the day, the one thing that you're always going to retain is the knowledge and the skill set that you acquire, okay? And if you have that, and internally you have peace of mind in knowing, I can go broke tomorrow, and I can get everything back, you're in a very good position, my friend. And I feel comfortable to say that I'm in a position where I know 100% if I went broke tomorrow and my business went bankrupt and I was 100K in debt, I could get back up to 100K a month, no bother. And I truly believe that internally, I'm already $1 million a month individual before I've even got there. And this again comes back to the definition of manifestation. Manifestation is just shifting internally to an emotional state in which you are no longer dependent on seeing reality change to get what you want. When you're good with it, when you are good without it, okay? So when you truly feel like you have something before you even have it, when it is normal, you will get it, okay? Because the person who needs it the most will get it the least, the person who needs it the least will get it the most, or the other way around, one of the two. So they're pretty much the only notes that I got, okay? So you may have heard Obese talk about the best way to feel poor is surrounding yourself with people doing 10x your income. Even if this means you spend every dollar you have to get around super high level people, it's absolutely worth it, because think about the one thing that you always have, yourself. And the one thing that you can always invest in and always see a return on if you have the belief in yourself is yourself and your skill set. Worst case scenario, you invest in something, but you learn a lesson from it. And think about it this way. You learn a valuable lesson and potentially you get some networking opportunities out of it, okay? Because you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you accept, your minimum standard. So the question you should be asking is, like what should I invest in? How should I invest it? How much money should I invest? But we've already made it very, very evident that the one thing you need to invest in is yourself. So the highest ROI thing that you can do is invest as much money as you can into the skills that you can acquire, the people you can be around, and the lessons that you can learn, okay? Because very wise people, I can't remember who told me this, I've probably seen it on like 100 different YouTube videos. Very wise people not only learn from their own mistakes, they learn from other people's mistakes, okay? If you're in a business model like SMMA, in fucking Amazon FBA, whatever the hell it is, I don't care. The roadmap is already paved. It's already there. All you need to do is pay for the information. And I get people come to me all the time and go, Cameron, how the hell did you go from at 16 years old to 18 to having an 100K a month business with 23 team members? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because I took big risk. I ultimately went into this with the mindset of, I'm going to spend every single dollar and I do not give a shit if I lose everything. Because I'm going to come out with it with more skills, more lessons, and ultimately knowing internally that if I lose everything tomorrow, I have the connections and I have the skill set to get it all back, okay? A couple of other things that I will say on this. Obviously, because you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you accept, your minimum standard. Think about it. If I was to say, you're not going to brush your teeth for the next week, that falls below your minimum standard, right? But you might have a goal, like this is the most random example, but your goal might be, I want to hit 100K a month, okay? But your minimum standard is what you're going to fall to. So instead of trying to set goals, set something like, I wish I can hit this, I wish I can hit this, what you want to do is turn your goals into a minimum standard. Visualize it. Brainwash yourself to believing, I deserve this thing. And then prove it to yourself every single day with an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are, okay? Right now, I am an $1 million a month individual. I am somebody that deserves to have a thriving dating life, an abundance of opportunities, having the best agency in the medical spa market. Why? Because I prove it to myself every single day, I visualize it every single day, and I have deluded myself into believing that I already have it, internally. Visually, I don't have it yet, but I will have it, okay? And that's all that comes from keeping the promises to yourself. I'm going on a complete side tangent here. These are just things that I truly feel passionate about. Other things that I've learned, kind of ripping through it. So easy grow, best for mindset, good for cold outreach, but as you continue to scale, I think it's kind of hard without paid ads, to be honest with you, or a scalable acquisition channel, but the mindset shit is absolutely incredible. Agency Lab has more practical shit, paid ads, networking opportunities, really good. SCA for sales, for scaling paid ads to like getting to like $1 million a month, pretty much everything's there. Or like, I would say at least 200, 300K a month. And as well, huge thing that I've got from Cole's program is their client success managers make like 50K a month. It's insane. So what I've been doing is, it's great, me going through as a consumer, seeing how they run their check-in calls, how they communicate with their clients in Slack. I got upsold yesterday for an additional $12,000 for 5 months, okay? And I got to experience that. And I've got the call recording. And I can listen and watch that back and go, how the fuck can I literally do this? The roadmap is already paved, right? Because sometimes you don't even want to be looking at as much at the deliverable, but look at how they roll out the red carpet for you, because you are the consumer of their product. And I know for a fact, hey, Cole's been around way longer than I've probably even been born. But maybe not 18 years, but he's been around a long time. And the reason I say that is because he's already cracked the code. So why don't I just use the things that he has, innovate on them, bring them into my market, and save myself all of the stress? Because remember, very wise people learn from the mistakes of others and themselves, not just from themselves, okay? Agency founders, I paid for an in-person event. I got a steal on this. It was incredible. And you know what I realized? Every single person there was doing way more revenue than me. There was a guy in roofing that was doing like 300K a month. And I was trying to figure out, why is this guy doing different? I had better systems than this guy. I truly felt like that. And biggest takeaway was, I needed to spend more on ads. That's it. If you're spending $1, you're getting $5 back. I get this all the time. People come into my coaching program. We've got like just for context, we have like an agency coaching thing. It's not really like a program. There's not a course, no bullshit like that. It's literally just 2 calls a week. It's $500 a month. If you want to apply, you can do it that below, by the way. But one thing I realized was, I get this question all the time. Cameron, what should I do? I need to grow. What's your cost per acquisition? $500. What's your lifetime value? Oh, we haven't had a client leave yet. We've got 20 and nobody's left. Scale your ads. Scale your ads. Jesus, Lord, I wish I knew this before. Biggest takeaway. If your cost per acquisition is lower than your lifetime gross profit, scale your fucking ads. That's all you need to do. That is it, okay? Biggest takeaway from that event, scale your damn ads. If you're making money and your cost per acquisition is lower than your lifetime gross profit, scale your damn ads, boy, because you can make more money. Steal my agency. This is a friend of mine, so this is more like one-on-ones, but he's a killer. He's in a very similar space to me. Highly recommend for anybody that wants to get to 20, 30, 40K a month. Call center mastery, I would say, is incredible for anybody that runs a call center. One-to-ones, I spent like 15K easily. Now, one very important thing to know, okay? As you start to get to 15, 20, 30K a month, I personally would now only invest in 2 main things. Number one, like communities that are very tight-knit, okay? An example of that would be the one that I run right now that's helping people get to 100K a month. We're keeping it limited. There's like 2 people per niche maximum. And the reason we do that is because we know the biggest problem with most of these big programs is there's so many people in the same niche. You jump on a Zoom call and you find yourself subconsciously holding back information because you don't want to give shit to your competitor. I know that because this was me, okay? So ultimately, that's the reason why we've kept it 2 people per niche, okay? So the only 2 things I would invest in are very tight-knit, high-level communities with a high price tag that scares me. And the second thing is one-to-ones with people that already have what I want. So an example of that would be, I paid Stevie Johnston, he has a 500K a month chiropractic agency for one-to-ones on a frequent basis. Or no, it was a very tight-knit community, tell a lie, and it was expensive. It was like more than the average salary of a 30-year-old in the UK. Okay, so it was expensive, but it was incredible because I literally shortcutted my way to where we're at now, which we're projecting to do at least 150k in MRR, at least. Let that set in without new cash, okay? All because of these people that I've been able to learn from and be a sponge. If you take anything away from this, just be a fucking sponge. Just learn from everybody else around you, okay? I spent like 9k on performance and health coaching. I know this might seem a little bit crazy, but I invested in one program, wasn't really too happy with it. However, it made me realize that a lot of these performance coaching programs are kind of BS. It's like, think about it. The main things you need: sleep, 8 hours, eat clean, progressively overload, be in a deficit or be in a surplus, eat clean, good food that ideally has one ingredient: salmon, chicken, Greek yogurt, apples, oranges, okay? Just try and stay away from a bunch of processed bullshit, okay? However, I do have one now that I still pay. The reason I pay him is because he's an absolute G. I love the guy. And as well as that, he holds me accountable. He literally maps out all my workouts, tells me the statistics on my progressive overload week over week, because the problem for me was I was going to the gym for like 3 years, but I wasn't progressively overloading and I wasn't tracking it, okay? So this is really good because it holds me accountable. And then I've also spent at least 20k on traveling, dinners. Example, I went to Miami for a month and a half, I 2x'd the business. This was 2 months ago. Why did I do that? Because, and by the way, the Airbnb we were staying in was at least 9k, and we spent an absurd amount of money on dinners. One of the dinners we went to with a group of us was like 2.8k for a dinner for 2 hours, okay? But that just feels normal now. Because again, you do not raise to what you want, what your goal is, you raise to your minimum standard, okay? The reason I did that is because it surrounded me with abundance. It surrounded me with wealth. It surrounded me with people that knew more than me and had more than me, ultimately making me better and getting me out of this scarcity mindset of, oh, I can't spend more than 10k a month on ads. Last month we spent 30k on ads. I don't really know anybody else in the SMMA space spending that amount. And the reason I did that is because it raised my standard and it made me realize money's going to come and go. I'm going to be the guy in the space that just has the biggest set of balls. I'm just going to take the most amount of risk. Some things are going to fuck up, but I'm going to learn a very valuable lesson that other people wouldn't be willing to learn because they wouldn't be willing to intake the risk, okay? Another example would be right now I'm in Colombia. I'm here for 2 weeks, here with some boys, and it's great. Like, just being around people that raise your standard, that give you energy rather than sucking your energy, and getting out of my hometown where I feel like I'm kind of alone. You know, I'm on this solo mission and I want to just continuously stay social. But besides that, hope you derive some value from this video. If you want to learn more about who I am and what we do, links below, free community, paid community as well that you can apply for, and my Instagram as well if you want to shoot me a DM and try and sell me some content, because everybody seems to be doing that right now.